Welcome to the Dope Dad Podcast. This is an unscripted journey for those who are invested in parenting. There's no judgment, there's no BS, just honest conversation about what it really means to be a dad today. It's raw, it's real, and it's unapologetically dope. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This is the Dope Dad Podcast. I'm your host, OJ, and you already know we out here in Podwork Studios in Mesa, Arizona. Today's going to be a huge episode for me, man. I brought an army with me today. I've got 3 other dope dads. 2 of them are repeat offenders. 1 of them's a newbie. We're going to dive right the fuck into it. If you guys have seen it, you already know Jacob Coutinho, owner, operator of Coutinho Sauce Company, back for a second dose of Dope Dad therapy.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
Welcome to the show, bro. Yeah, thanks for returning, man. Appreciate that. I got Keifer Madness over here. If you guys have been tuned in, he's actually been back twice, ready to roll the third dice right here, man. Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for being here, man. Appreciate the love, the support, the enthusiasm. Bro, you've been like a real partner for me on this shit, man.
Hell yeah, man.
I appreciate
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you, dog.
Yeah, stoked to be with these guys too, man.
Hell yeah.
You too.
Yeah.
Which is cool because you guys all know each other.
Yeah.
And Dom is the newest Dope Dad addition to the show. I actually just met Dom 3 weeks ago, question mark, about. But, dude, this guy's got a buzz about him in the Valley, man. If you're from the Valley, he is a restaurateur, owner, operator, badass extraordinaire. Everybody that knows him has been telling me, yo, you got a father like parenting podcast, dude. Get Dom on there. And I'm telling him, like, I don't know Dom. They put me in contact with Dom. Jacob actually put me in contact with Thank you, bro, for being so magnificent about bridging this gap right here.
This will work better for me.
But I reached out to Dom, bro. Like, literally, I just got this dude's number. I hit him up. I could tell it was family night. There's kids in the background. He sounds busy. He answers the phone, and I say, hey, dude, I don't know you, but I've got a podcast. Everybody loves you. Can I get a cup of coffee with you, man, and see if you want to come on my podcast? And he's like, I'll do you one better, bro. Come to my restaurant. So we set a date. I show up to his spot. So he's got 2 really dope-ass restaurants here in the Valley. One is called Hush Public House. If you're an industry cat, if you've been around, you know food and beverage, bro, Hush Public House slays. It's been a buzz for quite some time. But he took me to a second spot, which is called Fire at Will. I showed up on the scene, man, and the restaurant's fucking beautiful. I walk in. I'm like, I'm here to meet Dom. Bro, they take me to that table, and Dom's like a boss, bro. He's like sitting. So we sit down, and dude, the hospitality was exceptional. Cool. The venue was beautiful.
Thank you.
But honestly, the food was incredible, bro. The food was fucking rad. I'm like, yo, I forget what we were supposed to talk about because I'm slaying these burgers, bro.
The burger.
But not just that, like sitting down and talking to you, the mind behind the food and getting like insight, bro. It was amazing. It could have been ass. It wasn't. It was amazing. But even if it wasn't, I'm like, yo, I'm sitting with like that dude. The shit was bomb.
Thank you.
So yeah, man, thank you for taking the time, man. I was just applauding all these guys. Like, yo, dude, they're all busy, man. They all have young kids at the crib. They all have things going on. They all own businesses. And I said, hey, man, I want to do like a podcast about Father's Day, because Father's Day is like, it's arguably the most reputable, the most coveted, the most celebrated holiday, in the West. And I just thought, what better of a way to get out there and get ahead of all of the, the promotions, and wives are taking time off work to help us celebrate and bring in Father's Day. Kids are going crazy. I think they cancel school to help us all kind of get ahead of this. And so I'm like, yo, there's got to be a way for us to kind of get ahead of all that buzz. And I want to air this either on or around Father's Day. So I already know a little bit about the 2 of you guys, but just for you, Dom, since you're new to the show, man, like, talk about the kiddos, the wife. What's the house like?
Yeah, so my wife, Holly, we've been married.
Shout out Holly.
Shout out Holly. Coming up on 10 years. We just started having kids. So my oldest, Hank, he'll be 2 next month. And then my youngest, Rex, he's 6 months. So I've got 2 boys under 2, so pretty wild household right now for sure. But it's been awesome, man. I love it, yeah.
Yeah, man, 6 months. That's wild. What's a baby doing at 6 months? Refresh my memory.
He is just starting to like get up on all fours and plank. He's thinking about crawling, and he'll just kind of fall forward.
Do the butt rock?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Drools on everything. Just got his 2 front teeth. And so
that's fucking dope,
it's been fun, man.
Yeah, it's funny you forget it. I was just at Natalie's cousins today to see my little niece. You know, we've known her for a long time, like 20 years. And she's like 3 months old, I think just over 2, and it was a trip. All she had up looking at me, and I had like a little logo on my shirt, and she was like touching it, and I was like, man, I forgot what this is like, little light baby.
It's a
Luna
fucking
wants me to
trip.
pick her up all the time. She's like 60 pounds, dude. It's heavy. Super heavy.
It's a trip when somebody has like a newborn and they're like, oh, you're a parent, so hold my child. And you're just like, oh, I'm going to break this thing. It's very small. I don't remember. Like, it's been a long time. Plus, you're a big ass dude, man.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm so used to hanging with Hank that he's 2 and we roughhouse and wrestle and do all that stuff. And it's like, but I will say the younger one, they're in the same size diapers. He's a big boy.
Whoa.
Damn.
Dang.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of transition from one to the other, and you know, but I have no recollection of what it's like to have a teenager like you guys or something like that, to where it's like it's all still pretty fresh for me. So
Yeah.
You know, it's a trip, dude. So I met my oldest daughter today. Today was her last day of school. She's going to be a senior next year. And I hit her up. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, nothing. I'm trying to figure out my stereo. I'm like, yo, I'll meet you. Let's go to Dutch Brothers, whatever, get a coffee, pull up on the scene. Bro, she buys my coffee. She already knows what I drink. We sit there, we chop it up. I'm like, this is fucking crazy, bro. This is crazy. Like, I don't know when the transition happened from her using her money that she worked for to buy something for me. And then the conversation, bro, we just chopped it up for like 40 minutes. She's like doing her thing. She's like, all right, love you, bye. I'm like, all right, I love you too. Don't go, bye. You know, and she like goes to her friends and she's
Not ready for that.
yeah, bro. She's just like, she's doing her thing. She's independent. It's just like another homie. You know what I
Good
mean?
job,
So
bro.
it's fucking
Did a
cool,
good
man.
job.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, like I'm super lucky, man. And then I'm like, yo, are you at your friend's house? She's like, I've been here for like 10 minutes. I'm just sitting in the car chopping it up. I'm like,
Nice.
it makes me fucking feel good.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. So as far as like this thing's concerned, man, Father's Day, dude. Like, I've been kind of thinking back on my own, like what Father's Day means or meant or represented for me, like growing up, man. You got any insight, man? You remember Father's Day as a youth?
No.
This was it. Nah.
My
No.
parents split when I was 4, so it was always kind of some back and forth. So
Yeah.
I don't remember anything significant.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I think I bought them a tie or something. You know, that's about it.
Sounds about right.
But
I can't remember a damn thing we used to do on Father's Day, now that I think about it, man. And I've never really pieced that together because, and one of the things we were talking about before we kick this off is like, what's a perfect Father's Day look like kind of question that we were prompting a little bit just to kind of get everybody chatting. And it's like, there's no fucking framework that I have from being a kid where it was like, this is what Father's Day is supposed to be and look like or anything like that. So that's actually, that's interesting, man, that I've got no recollection of really celebrating Father's Day when I was a kid at all.
me either. I think I was like back and forth on weekends, and if he had something scheduled, he was gonna do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about you, bro? You remember anything from growing up Father's Day?
nothing really. I mean, me and my dad are cool, but you know, again, also my parents split when I was younger, and so he worked a crazy schedule. So maybe he was off, maybe he wasn't. So nothing really sticks out to me as far as like us celebrating. You know, it was always a phone call. Hey, Pop, love you. Happy Father's Day. What you doing? Nothing. Grilling a ribeye, having some beers. It's like, cool, man. Have a good day. You know.
That does sound like a good day. I'm not even going to front, bro.
But yeah, growing up, I mean, I don't know that it was ever like a huge ta-da like Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. So I was telling you guys, like, right, I don't know why I thought lighters were like the coolest gift for my dad. Like, I knew he smoked. I knew he drank. I knew he read books, listened to like old country, you know, like outlaw country shit.
The good shit.
Yeah. As I'm now finding out, you know,
Roots country,
45.
man. Like roots reggae. It's the old school hits,
Yeah,
the
dog.
classics. Yeah.
So I probably bought this fool enough Zippos and fucking butane torch lighters to burn every city fucking west of the Mississippi, you know? Like, I don't know why I thought that was the coolest gift. I'm like, check it out. And he was always like, thanks. And fucking open the glove box and put it in there, like on a stack of another, you know, a bunch of other ones. But I guess the reason that this whole thing even came up is because for me, being a dad is like the dopest shit in my life. Like, I love being a husband. Like, I'm super invested in my marriage now, like more now than I've ever been. But being a dad is like giving me fucking purpose. Like, it helps me understand like what my direction in life is. And a lot of it too for me was like accompanied with like sobriety and everything else going on in my life, but kids helped give me clarity. They basically saved me from like self fucking detonation. And as this is like the biggest thing in my life, a day that's on the reverse end where it's like, yo, how do you view me? I'm realizing that like I'm a part of my kid's life. They're my entire life, and I'm just like a segment of their life. And maybe I associate that with Father's Day, right? Where I was like, yo, dude, if it's a birthday, if it's Christmas, whatever the holiday is, like I want to blow it up for them. But on the back end, I'm like, well, fucking, there's Father's Day, you know? There's nothing. It's not like I need like all these fucking crazy applause and celebrations, but I'm like, damn, bro. Like,
yeah, well, I think it's double-edged for me. So first it was like, me and my dad weren't as close when I was young as we are now as I'm adult, because I wanted to make sure that at some point in time we just kind of reconciled that. It was, it was real rough and choppy when I was young. It was back and forth between him and my mom, and I've had 2 stepmoms now, and so with him, their generation, dude, they don't. There's no emotion and stuff, man. Like they don't share feelings. And so if you got them something, they'd be like, all right, yeah, thanks. You know what I mean? And that was it. But for our generation, I feel like it's completely different because, like, again, I'm the same way. There's nothing doper than being a dad. Like, I feel like it rounds out the experience of life. Like, I used to wonder, like, what's the pinnacle? Like, what are we working towards? And I think that just rounds out the human experience, dude. Like, something that's a big part of it. So it's you can't explain it. You know what I mean?
That's fucking deep. Yeah, like I agree.
So, and one last thing. Also, like, you got a 6-month and a 2-year at home. You can't expect to ask your wife on that day, hey, so what you got dialed up for me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Expecting a ribeye and a 6-pack. just saying.
Yeah. I don't know, man. So like the past couple of years for Father's Day, what we've essentially done is we always go do something as a family. And I think kind of to your point, like being a dad is something that I want to celebrate. And it's not necessarily like I need to go do XYZ and just be like left the fuck alone kind of thing. I think we're all sort of this mindset where it's like, I want a day where like the focus is like us celebrating that you guys are in my life, that you've enriched my life in this way. And like, let's all go do something together. Like that's kind of been this like trend that we've kind of been carrying. Like last year we got an Airbnb up in Flagstaff with my wife and her sister and her dad. And so we just took off up north and hung out in the Airbnb, went and explored Flagstaff a little bit. And then the second morning we were there, I woke up early, went for a trail run, went and did my thing, and then came back and like hung out. And like that was perfect for me, man. And I think we might end up doing a similar thing this year, but it's I think one of the best ways I can kind of wrap it up is like I like to, celebrate the family portion of it, do something that like the reason I want to go for a trail run on those mornings is because that's the thing that I do that helps me be that present dad for them. So that's kind of part of that celebration also.
Mm-hmm. That's what was a big mindset change for me as well a few years back when I just like cut out alcohol and everything. And I was like, I think I was turning 47. I was like, yeah, 30 years of, having your fun. I just really needed to change my regimen and what I did and put my health first and my relationship with my kid. Like I would get back home and I'm in the casita and I'd like, take my time and I'm like, there's a little girl back there that's like dying to see you. And I'm like trying to take on all my stress and not bring that inside. But now it's just, I've been embracing it in a different way. Like I'm just excited to see her. Like I really wanted to pick her up today because she's staying overnight and then she's got like a play date after. I won't see her till tomorrow night. Like I don't like a day to go that I don't see her, And to me, like that's why my perspective on being a parent is so different than what I experienced. You know what I'm saying? From a dad's perspective. So.
Well, like you said, I think that older generation, the way they grew up, the generation before them was even more distant and no feelings, no I love you, no hugs, none of that shit. And then it kind of is slowly evolving to where we are now, and it's like, I don't want any part of that. Like, I want to hug on my kids and be around them and talk to them and know everything that's going on with them, when they get older. So I think it just has slowly shifted to where, I saw something where, like the millennial dads are way more involved and invested in their kids' lives and livelihoods and they got going on at school, doing all that stuff than generations before.
Yeah,
I think they're just trying to change, how they grew up.
Yeah, you just gotta kind of think too. It's like watching certain things about history, I'm like, we're working through things that came from the end of World War II, because my grandmother was like a product of that. So that I didn't really have her in my life. She kind of went crazy. But so we're dealing with World War II and Vietnam still. You know what I mean? So you got to only imagine what the mindset was then. Technology wasn't what it is now. So we do have a ton of information. You know what I mean? So we kind of like scrutinize ourselves a lot more, because it's like, oh, how would I? You know, it's just subconsciously. You know what I mean? So and now I'm starting to learn that in school, because you go to PTA, the dances, you got to learn group class. So even if she's not in the talent show, you still go so she can support her friends, and we're building community. But I'm surprised at how many parents don't come to PTA or anything. And I feel so bad for these kids, man, that their parents just drop them off. Like they had a lot of heat last year. They dropped them off at the Sweetheart Dance. Kids that are 7 and 8 years old, you know? So anyhow.
That's fucked up.
I mean,
It's all right.
I didn't want my parents at the dance when I was in school, though. You know what I mean?
That was junior high. I'm talking 6, 7 years old, all right?
Motherfucker's like, who's the
I
sweetheart?
had my mom drop me off like a quarter mile away. She
Yeah.
had this raggedy station wagon. It was like light blue with a dent in the door. It looked like, what's that one off of National Lampoon's Vacation?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Chevy Chase roll up
But
that
not
shit.
a new one, yeah.
Bro, I used to drive a Smurf blue Datsun 310. That's what I learned how to drive in. Like
Hell
the
yeah.
fucking manual was like reaching up like this, but yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like if I could say one thing, dude, like just on that topic, show up for the kids, man. It doesn't matter what the fuck the event is, show up and show out.
100%.
My shorty hit me up because they got like graduations and award ceremonies and all that stuff popping off for the end of the year, and she hit me up 2 days ago, and she's like, "Hey, there's an award ceremony in 2 hours. Can you be here?" I'm like, dog, yeah, of course, I'll be there. A little heads up would be fucking dope, you know? And she's like, "Oh, I just found out about it." I'm like, highly unlikely. Also, I'm the dude that like, I see a message, you know, an email from the school. I'm like, fucking swipe.
Oh, man.
Pass
no.
on all that shit. Normally they're sweating me for some money, but I show up. First thing she does, bro, like scans, right? I'm easy to find because, dude, there was like 10 parents there. Fucking 10.
What?
Dude, there was like nobody there. It was all of 8th grade. She won 4 awards, bro.
That's
She won
dope.
4 awards.
So,
Yeah, I was like, yo, that's my fucking girl. Go get him, you know? But I'm thinking if I wasn't there, man, just all those things, like, I feel, my personal opinion, I feel like they damage my credibility. My desire to show up, make sacrifices, to do things that are important for her. You know what I'm saying? Because I operate off the mindset, if it's important to them, it should be important to me. Now, everything that they got going on in their lives isn't fucking important to me. Some of it's lame as fuck. But I still show up. And I still show out because if it's important to them, that's them throwing me an olive branch and saying, yo, I'll let you in my life.
yeah.
Right? Here's what's going on in my life. You want to fucking be a part of this? Reach out and grab that. And so I never really I never sleep on that. I try to never miss an opportunity to do that shit. So
Yeah,
just
now
on that, that's what.
Yeah, Natalie asks me all the time. She's like, "Oh, do we have to go to this thing?" I'm like, "Yes, we have to go." She's in with a class with 3 other grades. She wants to support her friends, and then you do that, and like you say, when she gets older, she'll be like, she won't be hiding her friends from me. She'll be like, "Yeah, my dad knows all my friends." You know what I mean? And it's cool. I get the "Hi, Luna's dad." I was dropping off the other day. Hear this little voice go, "Hi, Luna's dad," and I'm like, "Ah, what's up?" That's cool.
Yeah, it's weird when first kid called me Mr. Cole. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think I like it. No, that doesn't fit me, man. I'll be Owen.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Too formal.
Yeah, it's a little over the top for me, man. Yeah, it's interesting what you say, though, about parents not sharing their emotions, because I know my pops, still to this day, he's told me he loves me a handful of times, man. I could probably count it. But still, like, I'm outward with my emotions, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, thanks for calling, man. I love you. He's like, thank you. It's kind of like a running joke and shit, you know? They're just like, did he say it? I'm like, nah. They're like, he loves you. I'm
We
like,
took
I
some
know,
time
man.
to get there, man.
I know, but
Yep.
He's there now. We took some time, though, you know? Yeah, so I feel you. How about you guys?
I mean, I'm Italian, so my dad, we hug, we kiss, we say I love you, all that shit.
Cool.
Like,
Yeah.
we always have.
Yeah.
I've always been pretty good with my dad about it. We went through like a weird rough patch when I was kind of in my like early mid 20s, just because I was fucking up to no good. Didn't really want anybody knowing what I was up to, anyways, and in the throes of that. But we've always been somewhat close in some nature, man. And like he worked for the railroad too, so I don't know if you guys know how that job functions, but you're essentially on call all the time.
Yeah.
And so whenever he would get a call, he's got to go out, and you're gone for 36 to 48 hours, depending on how trains are turning over and all of that. And then sometimes, like back then too, there was no buffer time that they used to by law need when they were back when he had first started working for the rail. So he'd be right back out sometimes. So it was tough for him to show up for stuff, and that's why I try to as much as I can now. Like I do all the chaperone stuff with Coop, man. Like he's got a couple of field trips he's done that I'll sign up and go get on all that. You guys playing holding hands over there?
He's fucking big for this chair, bro.
Tight quarters.
That's you.
I'm walking to these motherfuckers.
We're about to
That's funny.
watch this on YouTube. You might be getting some interesting views here.
Only dads.
For sure. Yeah. Yes,
Good
sir.
content for that.
Throw it out there, bro. Yeah, it's a thing, man. It's a whole ass thing, being present for the kiddos. Which is why I think a lot of people associate my understanding of Father's Day was leave them the fuck alone. Like, it's their time to be alone. It's their time to do whatever they want to do, and you don't really bother them. My interpretation of Mother's Day was find her quickly, give her flowers, breakfast in bed. You shower her with praise and love for all the things that she did.
And then leave her
But
alone.
also, that's like, but that's also like a different shift because, like, back in the day, dudes worked and weren't really like heavily involved with raising the kiddos in the house, and then mom stayed at home and they did pretty much everything. It was like school, it was laundry, it was all the other stuff. That's not the way my house operates, right? Like for the first couple years, my wife was able to stay at home with the kiddos at an early age, which was fucking awesome and beneficial. And like, dude, I wouldn't take that back for anything. That was so huge for her and for the kids. Connection, everything building inside the house was madly beneficial from that. But I do all that shit, dude. I cook, I fucking clean, I do all the stuff too, you know what I mean? So I think there's just been like a shift in how households actually work. And honestly, with the way everything's expensive nowadays, fuck, dude. You almost have to have two incomes, bro. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's really crazy. And I got to be fair too, is to say that my dad worked retail, so he'd had a lot of late nights too.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I was at home, like we get so hungry looking through the spice rack for stuff to eat. But it was like feed yourself after school, watch your stuff, get your homework done. You know what I mean? So
That's how I got into cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way,
shit.
bro.
Yeah, I mean, watching Food Network as a kid, and my mom worked. She's
Yep.
a hairdresser. My dad also worked retail, and so I just really was into food, and I like to eat, clearly, and so it was always like, all right, what can we whip up,
Yep.
So
Yeah.
My mom was like, "There's food in there. Figure out how to cook it. You can eat." Same thing. So
Yeah.
But I have a similar. I guess we have a more traditional household, So Holly is able to stay home.
Yeah.
And so she is with the kids and takes them to the park and does all this stuff. And, so when Mother's Day does come around, she still wants to do family stuff, but I try to, get her gifts like, here's a massage or go get a facial, go have a spa day, something like on when you want, it's always there. But yeah, and for Father's Day, I've only had the one. But we took a trip. We went to Coronado and went to the beach with Hank for a little bit. And,
Hell yeah.
So that was a really cool time. This year, I don't know what we're doing, but the family will be around. I'm not looking to like have a day to myself. I have
Yeah.
plenty of that when I go to work and have a break.
I'm sensing a ribeye in your future.
Oh,
I'm throwing that shit out
that's
there.
twice a week at my house, dude. It's like that's a normal Tuesday for me, dude.
pack up on the way home from the restaurant.
We eat lots of steaks at the house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that would be ideal for me. It's funny. My kids ask me, they're just like, "Yo, what are you doing for Mom for Mother's Day?" I'm like, "You mean my fucking wife? Like we have a special day. It's called an anniversary, right? Like I got my own mom. I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna throw her some daps and say, "Yo, I love you. I'm thinking about you. What are you doing for your mom?"
Yeah.
Like that's
Flip it on them.
But are your
that.
kids all like? Because at a certain point, like for a while, I would imagine you still got to buy gifts for mom for the kids because they're not old enough to go do that stuff.
But honestly, dude, like the real shit, I don't know where you guys are at, but like, dude, I've got like a drawer full of like handmade cards and like little pop-up things and little, chicken scratch coloring
You're way more
stuff, bro.
prepared
Like,
than I am.
I just no. I'm saying that those are like gifts for me, or gifts for my wife on Mother's Day, bro. That shit, like, it's more from the heart. Like I don't want some store bought ass shit. You know what I mean? If she's thinking about me and she like draws a picture of like, me and my Forerunner or something like that, I'm like, yo, that's what's up. Like,
Yeah.
that's a cool like core memory for her. She's trying to capture it. She knows that I like my whip, and she's like, yo, this is for you. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
And I get to watch their art like evolve. My middle daughter drew this for me, and I just like happened to be
what?
Yeah, I just happened to be like walking past the fridge,
Yeah,
and it was
you
up
just
on the
got it.
fridge. I'm like, yo, really? She's like, yeah, I whipped it up in like 5 minutes. I'm like, next tattoo for sure. But I don't know, stuff like that for me is much more meaningful than like the cliche, like, here's a new golf club or, here's a day by yourself. Like, I didn't have a family to fucking ditch out on them or pawn them off on somebody else. Like, I enjoy my kids. I enjoy my wife. I want to be around them. So if I got time, bro, I'm hard pressed to spend it with anybody that ain't them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's priority. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Plan that first and foremost. I get that. Yeah, things come up and you may have like a scheduling conflict and want to do something else. But yeah, like I said, it's something that the childhood that my daughter is having is nothing like what I had, and I think just the way even the kids are treated is a lot different. We were not to be seen, not heard. Give you something to cry about, don't talk back, deal with it, walk it off. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And with her, it's like, okay, you're having strong feelings. Let's sit down and talk about it. And now it's like the negotiations are getting a little tougher now. I couldn't
I'm still a little different, but I got boys, so I'm like, dust it off. You're fine.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do that again.
You got to keep a little toxic masculinity in there.
They'll get plenty of it, I'm sure.
There's parts of my kids' youth that I wish I could take back when I really lost my fucking temper. I was still trying to figure out who the fuck I was without booze. Honestly, I didn't even know, man. And so I would have these outbursts and shit. But I definitely hold my daughters accountable, bro. I do not do the whole gentle parenting fucking shit. I'm I'm always accountable, man. And that's huge for me and my household, because I feel like that's been able to drive some pretty serious integrity and self-discipline and regulation and shit for my kiddos. You know what I mean? That's
sure.
huge for me, because I watch the way other people parent and shit, man, and sometimes I'm like, yo, bro, let's get the fuck out of this situation. I don't even want to be around this shit, talking to somebody about parenting is like talking to somebody about religion, bro. You ain't gonna change somebody's mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only thing you can really do is kind of remove yourself from the situation and have the family huddle and shit, I put my arm around him, you see that little bitch over there?
Bro, you've been wanting to,
don't do what she did. Don't do what that kid's doing over there. I don't tolerate that shit.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just like you guys say, it's about being involved. You know what I mean? You either want to be or you don't. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you can get around people where you're like, oh, you probably shouldn't have had kids. You don't seem like you're happy. You don't seem like you want to do this,
Yeah.
And I think that you're right, man. It's like just being present and being involved has so much more weight than anything. You know what I mean? It's just being there, and also the setting the example. You have to hold yourself accountable, because what she sees of you, or what they see with your three shorties, is what they're going to expect. You know what I mean? And you got that solid representation, so good on you, brother.
That's why I feel like I'm glad that I didn't have kids until I was a little older.
Same here, 100%.
I was a maniac.
That's some old people
as a
say,
younger
bro.
dude.
That's
Well,
some
I know,
old
but
guys
it's
say,
like,
He's an ex-Marine, so that
but I have
some of
the
it.
patience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're a little bit more financially secure.
Sure.
I mean, having kids in my 20s, I couldn't imagine. I was out partying, getting in bar fights, being a knucklehead. So now, like you said, it's like I want to be present. I've gotten all that shit out of the way.
Yeah.
Now this is my focus.
Yeah. The maturity that goes into it, man. As a young parent, bro, it's fucking impossible. I was so fucking lost, man.
How old were you with your first?
27.
Whew. Yeah.
27.
No way. I was barely holding on to me. Yeah.
I mean, dude, I'm surprised my wife tolerated my shit, bro. I was still a raging alcoholic till 30. And bro, I woke up and she was pregnant with our second daughter. She was 3 months pregnant. And it was around the holidays. Keifer and I talked about that shit. Something about the holidays get you real worked up about being a better man.
The most,
and I was all in my feelings, and I'm looking at this queen, man. I don't know. For me, dude, seeing my wife, the woman that I love, pregnant with my child, there's nothing more beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That's literally the epitome of beauty for me. Yeah. And I'm looking at her, and dude, we've got a little girl at the house, and she's pregnant with a second kid, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing, bro? How has she tolerated this shit for that long? Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. So I made some changes, man, and honestly, I still ain't no cup of tea, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but she still makes those
work in progress, my brother.
Yeah,
work in progress. Yeah, but you've come a long way. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, again, the desire to want to do it, bro. You know, and they make you better. That's just what it is. They take the life source out of you for the first couple of years, and then they slowly breathe it back into you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So.
Yeah, they certainly fucking are a motivating factor, aren't they?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be an ideal Father's Day for you, bro?
I joke and say golf and go, but I think just for us to hang out, watch a movie, maybe grill, like he was saying, just chill out and like enjoy being with each other. No one's in a rush, no one's stressed, and like, you know, it's not that schedule, you know. So which is, it's kind of nice. Like the first week in summer is kind of nice because you get to sleep. She gets to sleep in a little bit, and everything's kind of chill. So that's for me.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
nothing
cool
major.
too because it's like you can sense everybody in the room plays like provider role, right? Like I think pretty much everybody sitting here is like taking risk and done a bunch of shit just to like, you know, make ends meet and like, you know, make sure you can provide and like be there and everything. So what I'm kind of sensing is like everybody wants that moment on Father's Day to be able to focus and just be a dad that day, not have all the external shit, answering emails, taking care of XYZ. Like Father's Day, like
Put
I
the
just
phone
want to,
away.
man.
Yeah, just be the family.
I just want to be a dad that day. Like that's what I want for Father's Day. Not have all the other shit going on.
You got to figure it out, brother.
It really is the simple
love
things
it.
in life,
Yeah,
bro.
it's good.
As the summer's getting closer, my kids are less involved in school and more involved in each other and talking shit about like what they're gonna do for the summer. And
That's got to be funny to watch too. As they're
it's
teenagers now.
Oh, it's so fucking awesome. And two of them are gonna be going to the same high school. One of them is gonna be going to junior high. They're gonna drive together next year. Like I'm not driving
shit.
my kids
Three
to
of them?
school. Maybe. I don't know, dog. Like, okay, so here's the deal. So I'm struggling with that, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine sending the people that you love most in the world off in one car.
That's tough. Yeah.
Right? Like, imagine that shit, dog.
I've-
And,
yeah,
okay,
I've
so
had that
do I
mess
just
in my
fucking
head a
hold
lot
on
of
to them
times.
and say, no, you can't do that?
It's you know what? It's funny you brought that up because I feel like, you know, it's like when you have them the first couple months, you have this feeling like just keep them alive, And
It's doing the thing. It's making noise.
But that feeling never goes away. It just changes throughout life because it's always like you gotta send them to school, you gotta let them grow and be a person. But at the same time, you're like freaked out all the time, like making sure everything's all right, and I hope everything's good. You know, if they're going off with, you know, a friend to a birthday party or whatever, even if mom's taking it, it's like, I hope nothing crazy goes down where I should have been there. You know what I mean? But it's like, you got to kind of let life happen. So it's a little bit of letting go, you know?
It's a lot of bit of letting go.
Well,
bro.
yeah, especially you 3 times, you know? I'm over here on amateur level. I'm running a pilot with one. You guys all got multiple. So
For me too, man, I don't know. Boys are different than girls, man. Like, I just know the dynamic's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody asked me the other day, what's the difference between boys and girls? Like, how the fuck would I know, bro? Like, all I've had is girls. Like, that's all I know, right? That's all I know in my household. But I remember being a kid growing up, and me and my brother, bro, we were reckless. But also, even when I was doing dangerous shit, like, I felt like I was equipped to escape most of it. Whether it's like driving a car at a high speed or riding a bike and hitting a jump that I've never hit and trying to measure distance or...
Well, I think at that young age, you still haven't dealt with consequences yet. Like, bad shit hasn't happened yet, so you don't know any better. You know what I mean? It's not until you stumble and fall or you do something fucked up and then you deal with it. I remember having that shit almost into my 20s. Like, nothing bad really ever happened until, like, you have some real life experiences that'll kind of shift you and go, oh, shit, maybe I'm not invincible.
And I can only imagine for you with the teenagers too is like to be, because yours are pretty young still too, right?
Yeah, 7 and 2.
Yeah. So at that age where it's like you got to let them do the thing, but you know it can always be one bad night or getting around the wrong people and something happens. You know what I mean? One party. So it's like, too, I can only imagine, bro. I feel for you with that.
That's the
you
thing.
got to do it 3 times.
Well, and that's the thing too. I think that's probably a lot of the reason why we're so heavily involved, because our responsibilities aren't to fucking protect them from everything. It's to prepare them.
Yep.
Right? Like you give them the fucking tools and you're like, yo, please use the fucking tools I showed you. Like, for the love of God, you know?
Yeah.
But even then, sometimes shit ain't in their hands. You know the way the world works, man. Like, we be driving, somebody blows a red light. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, drive safe. She's like, I will. I'm like, it's not about you. Stay off your fucking phone. Keep your eyes up. Watch the road. Watch what's happening around you. I mean, I couldn't even imagine, bro. Life's fucking crazy like that.
Yeah, and it's like you teach them to, you know, trust their gut. If you're at a party and you kind of don't feel like you should be there, you should probably leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get an Uber, call me, I'll pick you up, whatever. So, I mean, I've been in a million of those situations where it's like, yeah, I probably should have left.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those things like nothing good ever happens after 2
Oh, yeah.
a.m. type things. It's like,
why didn't I just leave? It would have been so good if I had left. Yeah.
So you guys are both big into martial arts, jiu-jitsu specifically. Obviously, you've served this great country, man, and you're huge into athletics and stuff like that. Are those things that you guys think you're going to carry on into? I'm going to applaud you next. We got a
I was
whole
going to
thing
thank
about
Don for his service, but I didn't want to cut off the flow. So, yeah, I've never really told him that. So
you. We all should, bro. Especially since you dipped right after 9/11, right? That was like
Yep.
your calling.
Yeah, I mean, that 9/11 was my freshman year of college, and I was playing junior college football, and woke up just like everybody did that morning, and that shit happened. And I just, I wasn't a huge fan of school. I wasn't a great student. I didn't like to sit still. And so, yeah, I was like, I needed to change. I need to do something. And so quit school, went to the recruiter, enlisted. I was in boot camp by May.
Damn.
Did 4 years, one tour in Iraq.
And you made it.
Yeah.
made it out.
I had a good experience. I got to travel the world. I got to do a bunch of cool shit. I know some dudes who spent 4 years in Yuma and didn't leave the base.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, it was a really good experience. And it helped prepare me for life and the workforce and all that shit. And so I'm very thankful that I did it. And
Yeah.
What were you like when you joined? Were you like reckless? Were you a
smoking
tyrant,
weed a
or were you
bunch. I was drinking a bunch,
Yeah.
skipping school. I was never like a bad kid. Like I was never in trouble with the law or any shit like that, but hanging out, partying, and I just like needed a break. I needed something to get out of Arizona for a while.
Yeah.
Like a refresh, and I don't know. I just felt kind of like I wanted to serve. And,
That's what's up.
So I went to the recruiter. I said, "What's the hardest?" And they said, "The Marines." So I went that way.
No shit.
Fuck yeah.
Not everybody makes
Savage.
it either, and people think it's easy for a big guy, but when you're talking calisthenics and agility and stuff, nothing's made to fit us.
Hell no.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, it's
that'd be a
like
challenge.
we were talking because my man over here runs 250 fucking miles at a time.
Yeah.
And like the minimum for the Marines is it's a 3 mile run.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I probably couldn't do that.
I mean,
Not now.
at 19, it wasn't that big of a
Yeah.
deal. But I was telling him, I was like, I don't think I ever ran more than 5 or 6 miles. I'm not built to run. I'm built to lift heavy things.
Yeah.
But
Fucking strangle people.
yeah, and jump people.
Let me move that fucking house. Yeah.
So like what you were saying, most dudes in the military are not my size. I'm 6'5", 250, and most dudes. Nothing
Do
against
it.
you.
Do it.
You're your size. Yeah, perfect size. They're the perfect size
Yeah.
because they can.
This masterpiece over here.
Yeah, they get sneaked in little places and pop out and shoot people and
Yeah, dog.
like
Get in my backpack. We're going.
and when I joined, I wasn't like I don't want to be infantry. I'm too big of a target. I'm not trying to kick down doors. So like I had a smart kid job. I worked on the air wing. Doing flight ops for F-18 and stuff like that. So I wasn't out there machine gunning or.
Oh, bro, I can picture you with like a fucking saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Now that's stuff I do on my free time for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So your time in the military, I mean, obviously, like it teaches discipline, accountability, probably responsibility if you're tasked with positions, and
Respect,
authority and
all
stuff
the
like
things,
that.
yeah.
Do you think that those are things that you'll carry then into the way that you parent? You think that'll be like
Absolutely.
a direct relation to
structure, discipline, all those things, accountability, 100%.
And are those things that you experienced also in your household growing up?
I did to an extent.
Yeah.
Like once your parents split and living with my mom and, I had a brother and sister. So, that's a lot to deal with. And she worked full time, so we took advantage. We had parties when she wasn't there and, shit like that. And so it was always like, I'll call your dad was the threat. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh shit. Okay. Cause my dad was a tough guy, still is. And so it was always that fear of like, oh, don't call dad. My bad. I'm sorry. Type of thing.
Yeah.
Do you think, depending on how they are when they're that age, will you encourage your sons to go into the military, or will you just? I mean, I feel like my life would have been a lot different had I gone. Like, I kind of regretted not, because I was in the same position, just no direction, just burning time. And, you know, luckily I decided to just move my environment, and, you know, I'd moved to Denver and changed my life. And then same way when I moved here, 2007, I left on like Thanksgiving. I packed a little Susie Trooper with my stuff, couch surfed for a few weeks, and then like 6 months later met my wife, and I'm married, and this and that. And so
I mean, there's a lot to unpackage there, right? Because we all,
Jacob driving a Isuzu Trooper.
you know, we
overnight.
like our generation of guys who joined after that. You know, we felt like we were going to war to protect our country, and you know, we went to war over a bunch of bullshit. And now the way that politics have kind of taken over every aspect of life, you know, it's like, what do we really? Do I want to send my kids off for some asshole to get rich?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
What's the end game of all this?
Right.
Yeah, like,
so, you know, and then you see the flip side of it, and it's like, you know, they made everybody go to college. You need a degree or you're going to be a loser. And then now you kind of see the flip side of that, and you're like, well, not really. Like, I know dudes who are electricians who are making 10 times what guys with a psychology degree.
Yeah, I would encourage.
You know what I mean? So it's
I
like,
would encourage a trade. 100%.
So I don't know. I want my kids to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
I want them to go play football and you know, be
Okay.
successful, do all those things. But you know,
what you want,
it's, are they going to do martial arts as a kid? Yes. Are they going to play sports? Yes. If it turns out that that's not what they want to do, then we'll figure something else out. But that's what I see them doing, you know, especially, you know, Hank off the rip is already super active. He can't sit still. He doesn't sit and watch through a movie. He's like, I want to go play. I want to be outside.
That's mine.
Right. So it's like, we're already trying to find like a gymnastics gym or something, just because the guy's got no end in battery. So
it's like we need to get a Labrador or something for her to play with. Right? Like, we have a little dog. He's freaked out by her, but yeah, she hasn't napped since she was 18 months old. She stopped, and not even incidentally has she taken a nap since then. Like, and my mom is wild. She can't sit still. Natalie's mom can't sit still, and they're Julie and Nancy. So we say she has Julie and Nancy energy.
Oh no, dude! If Hank doesn't take a nap, he's a fucking asshole.
Really?
It's like 1 o'clock. You're in your bed or your crib, sleep or not. But like he eventually just falls asleep because he gets bored. But it's like, dude, if he doesn't nap, he's on.
It's hell on wheels. Yeah. It's funny. She just doesn't stop. There's just no off button. Until the head hits the pillow.
And meanwhile, I'm like, dude, I'm exhausted. What are we doing? Like, give me a break. I'm just trying to sit here and like scroll on my phone for 10 minutes.
Yeah, last time we had dinner, he was like, he wasn't even talking to anybody. He was out there with the kids and just had that blank dad stare, like just holding it all in. Like, you know, like, all right, watching this one. Holy shit, this is a lot, you know?
Just head down, tracking
on. Yeah. How was it for you having a second one with such a, because it was like a 4 or 5 year gap?
Yeah, about 4.5 years, yeah. It's changed. Like, it hasn't been one static thing of like being good or bad. So when he was first born, it was okay because Coop was at least, you know, going in school and everything.
Yeah,
so like the focus could be on Silas and, you know, taking care of baby and everything like that at first. And then there's been a couple of waves where it's like they're doing really good together. They can start playing together and all that. But then it's like, dude, it's fucking cats and dogs sometimes, bro. Like, and it's kind of fun at the same time though, man, because it's like, it's really good right now. So I'll kind of cap it with that. But it's had these waves, you know what I mean? Like Silas will be going through like a developmental phase where he's like trying to figure stuff out, and you know, Coop wants certain amounts of attention that he was used to getting, or like was used to games being played a certain way, and now it's got to change because there's the baby involved, and like we're not going to exclude him. So teaching that lesson of it's been interesting. But dude, I love it right now, man. They're starting to kind of like figure out interacting with each other, and like they go at it, dude.
That's
I'm
so
like,
funny.
I don't want to encourage it, you know what I mean? But like, there is a certain portion of me that's like, the two brothers, man, you better toughen each other up, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Like, that's part of it. And then I've had conversations with Coop that it's like, your job is to protect him until the day you guys die. Like, Mom and I are only going to be here for X amount of time. Like, that is your little ride or die homie that we built in for you. Like, you're the sage, the guide, however you want to word it. So like, that's kind of a role that I've been ingraining in him. And like, it's interesting, man. And then it's funny because you mentioned something earlier, but that second one comes out ready. They're ready, especially if you've got two boys, man. It's like they're always bigger. They like
no, they like we joke around. We're like Silas came out full blown feral. He was
Really?
ready, dude, and
Ready to go.
he's big, dude. I think he's only like
Walked out.
yeah.
Motherfucker's like, where's my
He's
competition?
like, all right. So
great.
it's been interesting, man. It's been really cool though.
Well, how old were you when you had your first?
27.
Okay, yeah, you were pretty young too.
And dude, similarly, like recently sober too, man. So you're just this emotional
Yeah.
fucking lightning rod.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, yeah, because I remember, you took a big 180. Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Super
to,
proud
man.
of you, man. It was,
Thank you, man.
I remember we were all going through it at that time. It was still pre-baby stuff for me, so.
Dude, we always talk about, and I'm curious your perspective on this too, but especially when Counterintuitive was open, there was this like hub of industry people. It was like time and place, dude, because it was like it was pre-kids, everybody had kind of popped off and gotten successful.
Yep.
And it was like there was this spot, man. And
It was by the time you got there, it was all over. It was done. And they're slanging out dope drinks. Everybody's like, yeah. Because you were like Crudo was a little spot, that's back when those
for
days.
sure.
So it got fired up there, and then maybe we slide to the Gladly, and maybe slide down to Dilly Dally, and then by the time you headed out, Counterintuitive, it was like good night. And there's like Spotty, and there's I remember those were the days. Yeah.
But you were still super young doing it and had such huge recognition and were winning tons of awards, and like you were the fucking guy in town, and you just had the spotlight on you. I couldn't imagine the pressure and keeping up with all that and being in that lifestyle. Like I'm back house, so we drink in the corner silently. Like you're in the mix in front of everybody. It's like that's my fucking worst night.
It's your nightmare.
and love him to death too, man. But like the pressure side of it too, man. Like Asher, there was like fucking perfection or nothing, dude.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like
It's funny. I met him. He was. We were going to do a cocktail feature, or they were going to bring us for an education at Young's back when I worked at Gallo Blanco. So this was like
Oh, shit.
2013, 12, something like that. And I was like, man. We went down there, and I was like, this dude's dialed. And we were redoing the whole bar program. I was like, this guy's tight. And then sure enough, it would just show to be true. And then I think that was where that wave really came too. Like I saw what he was doing, and it just seemed like it was infectious. All of a sudden, it was like mixologist, and it was like happening, and everybody was supporting it. You know what I mean? So I feel like the whole industry is shifting then, and then I feel like it's shifted again now after the pandemic. Like completely different. Like we're definitely the old guys. The young guys have taken and run with it, but it's really cool to see. You know what I mean? It's like it's dope. Like some of these kids that have worked for you are now running their own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know you spent time at LGO, so you've seen a lot of people come through in town. But it's always cool to see. And they come to you too. When they're like get at a point where they need direction or maybe need to gig for a while.
Yep.
And that's when you kind of had an impact in a positive way. Because when you're managing, you can kind of be a dick sometimes. You have to be. It's babysitting, man. It's like how many people I had crying in the office, man. It was like, not that I made them cry, but I just talk them through stuff.
I was like, I've made a few people cry.
Yeah, well, yeah.
dude.
We've all made fucking people cry. The thing is too, man.
It's
Like,
weird when you make the guys cry. That one makes me uncomfortable. Because it's like this young 20-something-year-old guy, and he's like, but he's willing to show his emotion. So I'm like,
You can't talk to them like we used to, though.
no,
Now
not
it's-
at all.
Bro.
No.
Bro.
They will fall apart.
No, they'll just tell you to go fuck yourself and leave. They don't, you know what I mean? They're like,
too.
I can go make $20 an hour down the street. Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's true.
oh, bro,
That's
pulling
true.
up on In-N-Out and they got a fucking sticker in their window that says starting at $21. I'm like, to work the counter at In-N-Out? What the fuck?
Yep.
It's wild.
Bro.
I remember seeing $14 an hour at In-N-Out when I was at Zinc making 10 as like the saucier. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Where did it all go wrong?
I do think though that like being in leadership positions, because all of us, I mean, look around, bro. Like all of us have held significant positions within whatever organization we're in. We raise the fucking bar, man. We care. We work with integrity and excellence, right? No matter what we're doing. And having people work with you and for you helps prepare you for parenting.
For sure.
Like, no bullshit, bro. Like, I know how to navigate a lot more situations and dance around emotional situations a lot better because of that. And I think when you have this position, these accolades, these recognition, restaurants under your belt, and you finally come to a realization that, like, hey, I'm going to shift my energy to things that are more valuable to me, which is family and connection and time and being a parent. That's like a huge maturity like switch right there when you're like, yo, these are the things that I value the most in life, and this is what I'm going to focus on.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, you're talking about selling your crib and potentially moving out of state to provide a better environment and opportunity for your family.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking huge, man. Most
Yeah.
people just kind of, they try to hang on, they try to balance both. The reality is, man, you can't.
Yeah.
They're either both going to suffer or it's like work, you know? Like, there's no fucking work-life balance. The unicorn, the myth. Like, some days work gets all the love and your family suffers, and some days family gets all the love and work suffers. And that's the way that it is, man.
Yeah. I feel like the restaurant industry is the civilian version of the military, where you get groomed when you come in. It used to be you come in and you start at a terrible position and you got to work your way up and see people come and go. And my way has always been like, you just manage individuals and you hold yourself accountable when nobody's looking, right? Like, not everybody's willing to do that, but you really do it. And that's what's transferred over to parenting. So I know I can't ask something of her if I'm not doing it myself. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So and at the end of the day, you can lay into people, you again make them cry, whatever. But at the end of it, they appreciate it though.
Mm-hmm.
They'll always say, "Hey, I appreciate the way that I liked working for you because you always cared about people and you did the right. You led by."
Yeah, and I do think people also like, if you shoot them straight. Like, people that work for me always know where they stand. They always know, you can make mistakes as long as you learn from it. I'm not the type of person nowadays to chew you out. There's no grudges ever. It's like, all right, what'd you learn from it? We're not going to do that again. You know what I mean? It's like, I tried to. Now it's a little different. Now it's like I deal with more like the higher up, the chefs and GMs, and deal with them and try to have them have those conversations with the line cooks, the servers, stuff like that. But it's just like the check-ins, how's everything going, what's going on? I want to know what's going on with your family life or outside of work, because at the end of the day, we're all human and we all got shit going on. It's not just about how many burgers we sold that night or whatever. So I think it's really important that you have that relationship that's not strictly work. You
for
give
sure.
a fuck about your
The fine line too, but yeah, absolutely. And it's I think also like managing managers is a different level too, because it's like not everybody knows how to lift their head up and assess situations. They just think that like managing is getting everything done. You know what I mean? Being a taskmaster, and it's like it's art, bro. And you got to just learn it by going through it.
But that's something it's kind of fun for me. Now is like my managers are coming to me with shit that is insignificant, in the big scheme of things, but it's very like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this situation. And it's like, I remember having those conversations with my bosses back in the day when I was in their roles, and them smirking or laughing at me and me getting frustrated, like, what the fuck, this is a big deal. And it's like, it's not a fucking big deal. Like, relax.
Entry level issues. Bro, I wish. Yeah. I wish, man. Yeah, I've been saying this shit for years, bro. Like, you can't manage fucking people, man. Like, it's fucking impossible.
That's the hardest part of the gig.
Yeah.
Is managing
the X
personalities.
factor is what I call it. Yeah, it's people, because they all have their own thing going on, and some people are more resilient than others, and creatives. You work with a lot of creatives. I think that my kid is a creative because we've drawn over the entire house. The last house, like I had to actually pay for that one because it's like just ruined the walls completely. And there's little notes everywhere around the house, and it's funny. I'll just find stuff like in my printer. There's like a little, something that she's written. It's cool to see it though. I don't get frustrated or anything about it. But yeah, she's gonna be all art. She's always performing and singing. She has a guitar, a violin that she swears she knows how to play.
Yo, that's the fucking worst gift ever, bro.
Yeah.
That's the worst gift ever. My brother would do that shit. Like, homeboys, they'd be like, yo, I got this fucking noise maker for your kid for their birthday. They love that shit. The second they open it and find out it makes noise and does random shit, they're like, oh, this is the best gift ever. And I'm just like looking at them and they're like, I'm like, dude.
The new one.
You go pay for that, bro.
She refurbished one. She brought it back, refreshed it. The Jones got her one of those pianos that rolls out. And you do the whole, and then she can play a song. It doesn't matter where you step. She's like, Dad, look how good I am. I can play this song. And she like FaceTime my mom last night. And she's like doing, and she swears it. She's like, see, I do it. I don't even need lessons.
Just comes natural.
But
I
it's
just freestyled
like,
that.
yeah, I just hear it like all the time now. So
This just reminded me. It was like 2 Christmases ago. My sister-in-law got Coop like fake turntable things, like this DJ set.
oh yeah.
And same thing, dude. It was like this noise-making thing. We're like, oh my god, you got to be kidding me! But we figured out you can like hook music up to it, and then you can hit a record button, and you can like speak things into it and like start making songs.
Oh, man.
That's
So we
pretty
started
legit.
figuring it out with him and everything. And dude, we're sitting there and we have this beat playing and everything, and we're like figuring out how to do it. And he's like pushing buttons and stuff. And I don't know where he got this from, dude, but we like push a record button. We're like, Coop, say something. And he goes, bring back the bitches. And we're like, whoa, dude, where did that come from? So we've saved that thing, and like I am going to
great.
guard that thing until the
Bro,
day
please
I
do.
die, dude,
Yeah.
because like I can't wait until he's like 16 and
That's
I can
so
just
amazing.
hit that button and play it back, and
That's
it's like,
so
bring back
funny.
the bitches, like,
Dude,
That's so funny.
that's fucking amazing. And
Yeah.
we did something like that too, where like the whole family.
Dude, I had no idea. I'm like, Taylor, what music
Yeah.
you been showing him
Oh,
in
yeah.
the situation, like
Oh, yeah,
trying to
bro.
pass blame, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We did some shit like that maybe like 10 years ago, bro. All of us were like huddled up on the bed. That's like some of my favorite time. Like the most coveted
Oh, yeah.
shit is when we're all just chilling, whether it's like movies or fucking around on phones and laughing and talking shit. But we like had this thing where we were like recording. You could like do the same thing, like samples and make noise and echoes and stuff like that. We made this whole ass song about the Cole family, which is like our little squad, you know?
Hell yeah.
And it was so fucking dope. And it was like these little baby girl voices. And, dude, it was so dope. And then something happened and dude, like that shit lost. But we still talk about it. My oldest is 17, bro. She's like, you remember the Cole family song? We're all like,
Damn,
fuck
dude.
yeah, we remember that song, bro. So if you can, bro,
I have
get
a
that
few
transferred
times.
to another
Guard
device,
that thing
bro.
with my life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had a little recording set up, like, and I would just have a mic like this, and she would come in the back, and I would just set it on and let it riff. And she says some funny stuff on there.
That's
she likes
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, it's fun, man.
Kids, man, yeah, that shit happens fast, dude. Real fucking fast. So your kiddos too, man. They're gonna be doing martial arts and the whole gambit.
That's the plan. So the approach I've kind of taken with Coop is like, I'll introduce you to stuff. I don't want to force you into anything. So we've tried out soccer. He wasn't a huge fan of that. Shocker, he ends up loving running. So like he goes and does this kids fun run every year at the company that hosts all the trail events that I like doing in town, Aravaipa. So they go do those.
Oh, cool.
He likes that. And then Coop, my oldest, is my creative. Silas is going to be my little tank. Like I already know that. And I was shocked because I had my college roommate. I wrestled in college, and he had contacted me, and he was like, hey, will you come help out with this camp? I've got a buddy of mine I wrestled with in California. He's bringing a huge group out, and I need someone to help with, some technique and everything. And you're a good talker and good with people, and like I think you do great. So whatever. I tell Coop about it. I'm like, hey man, if you want to come check this out, like I want to introduce you to something that I love, that I grew up doing, and like wrestling was my sport, man. Like that was my first love. So get him there, and he's hanging out. He's playing with my buddy's kids and everything, and they didn't go through all the drills and everything, but he had kind of gotten to see like what wrestling is and like all of that. I make him watch NCAA finals with me every year that it's on and
great.
everything, dude. And I'm like all jazzed, like fucking sitting there, and Taylor's like, yeah, this is fucking cool. Yeah. So we leave, and I was like, hey, what'd you think, man? And he's like, I want to wrestle. And I was like, yes! Like, I was stoked on that, man. So
For sure.
I don't know if wrestling will be something we get him into immediately, but like I think jiu-jitsu, man, if he's wanting to do anything, jiu-jitsu is a great outlet, because it's tough to find wrestling.
Yeah.
There's clubs and everything like that, but I feel like jiu-jitsu is a little bit more accessible right now. So he's done karate, and he really enjoyed that, but we ended up moving like in the middle of him being there, so that kind of came to an end. But we're gonna get him back in something. They just finished up school, so he'll be going into that. But I think martial arts is like a special one in terms of like structure as a kid, like understanding like accountability. I think the thing that I like about jiu-jitsu specifically too, more than team sports, is like when you go out there and compete or do the thing, there's no one else to blame. If you go out there and you get your ass beat and you get choked out or, you know, the shit kicked out of you, there's no playing a game and blaming a lineman for missing a block or someone made a bad pass or anything like that. Like, there's a true accountability that I think you learn from martial arts that I'd like for them to pick up and take with them. And it's, you know, you had said something earlier where it's like lead by example, and like that's what drives so much of what I do, man. And I know it's probably similar for you. It's like, I'm not going to tell you that you need to eat healthy and take care of yourself and be involved in something that you're passionate about and all this shit and not go do it myself and come off like a hypocrite. So that drives so much of what I've done, man.
For sure. And it's, you're doing things out of the ordinary, which I think is cool too, when you're building a bit of a legacy and your kids get to see you do extraordinary things, not just like what they hear. Because they start talking like, Dad, what do you do? Are you know what I mean? They want to know what you do with all your time. Yeah. And because, you know, they talk to their friends. My dad does this and this. And it's cool that they get to kind of talk about something unique like that. You know? So I
heard my oldest get into an argument with one kid. And it was already that, like, my dad can beat your dad up kind of thing.
Yeah, dude, that's like the best flex ever.
Dude, it was great, man. But I don't know the exact conversation of it. He was like, oh, yeah, well, my dad ran 100 miles. And I was like, fuck yeah, I did.
Bring your bitch-ass dad around here, bro.
That's so funny, man. That's so funny. Yeah, Luna used to be like, my dad, you're so strong. You're like the strongest in the world. You can lift 50 pounds. I was like, yeah, thanks, kid.
with both arms, compliment.
Yeah, I know. Like,
yeah, dude. I remember that flex when I was a fucking kid. Also, wrestling, I feel like was just like something you did when you were a kid. Like all my homeboys, we would watch like Rocky IV, and I'm like, all right, let's reenact this shit like scene for scene. You know, you can be Rocky. I'm gonna be fucking Tommy the Machine Gun. I fucking come in the bar like this. You know, we're like tossing each other over couches and shit. You know, like that was just a way of life, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wrestling was.
Well, it was like when we were growing up, though, it was like we had Schwarzenegger, we had Van Damme, we had Stallone.
Van Damme was the shit. Yeah, dude.
You know, like we had all these like big macho dudes. Now, like all the Hollywood dudes are like
they're pretty,
wearing
pretty dudes, like skinny,
male models and shit.
You
bro.
gotta go back and watch Bloodsport if you haven't seen it in a while. It's so the track. I don't know why. I just wanted to be a martial art master when that came out.
Dude, Van Damme was a fucking demon. He was so dope.
I mean, half the movie's that. And he did that splits thing, but the way he danced in that movie, I've never
got wasted.
Talk about secondhand embarrassment. You know what I mean?
That swag Miami bullshit.
Z Cavaricis with like a wife beater and shit. Yeah, it was just good. It was good. All right.
Oh shit, we getting bombed on over here. All right, man. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here, dude. Yeah, for you, man. Last words. What's Father's Day? What's Father's Day mean for you, man? If you're gonna talk about being a dad, what does Father's Day mean to you?
Be that dad. Be happy to be at home. Spend that time. Be invested. Put everything else aside. You know, the week starts after that. So enjoy your day, the best you can.
All right.
And be grateful for what you have. You know?
Fucking right. Yeah.
Presents. Yeah, just presents.
All the presents. Yeah. Like, give me more presents.
My presents.
You being present.
My present.
Yeah.
Being present.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm just being a dick, but I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Done?
Yeah.
Ribeyes.
There we go. Here's some ribeyes.
Here's some ribeyes.
No, it's
coming to your house
being
for Father's
present.
Day.
You know, trying to shut everything else out and you know, focus on the family and have a good time, and that's it.
Deal with the rest as it comes, right? Because it's not like it's all just chill time. You know, it's like at times,
But I gotta give props to my wife. I mean, she can see it on my face sometimes, and she'd be like, "All right, come on, let's go play," or you know, and she does so much. So
yeah, I gotta give shouts out to Natalie as well. She like same thing. First 5 years, she was with her at home, mostly working from home, and you know, through the pandemic, she'd take her all the play dates and everything, and yeah, it's been a good balance. And I make sure to do my side too. Like I see her when she's like, so like at nighttime, like she starts getting, she's over it at like 8.
Fried.
And then I'm like a late person. I'm like, I got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Just set her up for me so I'm good. And then, I put her down.
Good shit.
Choke her out. Go to sleep.
Night.
Yeah.
what about you?
Yeah, what about you?
For me, man, like my mind's in a couple different places. So one, I used to call my mom, single mom, and tell her Happy Father's Day every Father's Day.
That's dope.
It is, but it was also like my little way of like taking a stab at my pops. You know what I'm saying? And I too, like you, developed a relationship much deeper and more meaningful the older I got with my father. So I want to take an opportunity to make sure that he knows that I value the relationship that we built, and that that I forgive him for things that have transpired, right? That made me feel a certain way. As far as the family, man, a lot of people ain't so lucky, bro. I talk to people who don't have kids, who don't want kids, who will never know what it's like to have a small person that's half of them, the best half, right? And I'm fucking grateful, bro. You know, anytime shit pops off, bro, financial situations that stress me out, work shit going down, fighting with the queen, like there's so many like little trivial fucking things that happen. And the reality is like, dude, it's easy to get caught up in all that shit.
Yeah.
It's so fucking easy to let it consume you. But at the end of the day, bro, if you got healthy kids, if you got kids that don't have medical issues, that are waking up, that are in tune, that smile when they see you, that want to climb on you and shit, like, those are the fucking glory days. That's what I realize now, having older kids, you know?
Yeah.
The real shit, bro, at one point you put your kid down, you never pick them back up.
Don't do that one.
Fuck.
It's real shit.
Don't do
It's
that
real
to me.
shit.
I still gonna pick her up. I don't care. Because I gotta start training with Dom a little more.
So
She
here's
could
the
be
deal,
like, "Oh, Daddy, you're not so strong anymore."
so here's the deal, I need to pick
hurt
the
all
kid
the
up. Yeah. But
What's your leg?
But for me, man, I'm the same as you guys, man. Father's Day is about being present, in tune, and sharing it with the loved ones, man.
Well, I'm going to applaud us all for what we've done so far. Like, because you go into this not knowing anything. Obviously, the generation before us showed us something completely different, and we're talking about leading by example. And we did it out of thin air without listening. We didn't want to do what was done before, and we're doing it. You know what I mean? And it's cool to hear multiple stories where that invests. So we're building a better generation, and sometimes you got to think yourself a little bit. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So
Hats off to the homies, man. Dope Dad's in full effect. Thank you guys for being here, man. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing out. Thanks for supporting the cause and being a part of the movement, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah.
To everybody out there, all the listeners, all the people watching, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, tune in, tell a mom, tell a dad, tell a friend, tell a kid. Until next time, stay dope. Thank you for joining us on the Dope Dad podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to share it with a friend. You can support the show by giving a like, sharing, and subscribing, and you can find us on YouTube or wherever you're getting your podcast fix. If there's content you'd like to hear more of, please leave a comment. We'll make sure we try to get it in the show. Continue to tune in for more dope guests and real conversation.